We have just cleared the Texas debate stage, and now the decision is in your hands. Early voting opens Monday morning, and Texans will choose who to send to Washington for the next 6 years.
And tonight we saw incumbent Republican Senator Ted Cruz and Democrat Congressman Cruz and Allred double down on their stances on immigration and transgender rights and access to health care.
Our goal tonight is to help you make sense of the candidates' claims.
Our team coverage includes the debate moderator, senior political reporter Jason Whiteley, and Dallas Morning News political reporter Gromer Jeffers.
Jobin Puttaker is live in Dallas with instant voter reaction, but we start tonight with Morgan Young.
Well, Chris and Izzy, a strong showing from both sides tonight. Actually, both the Cruz and Allred campaigns are both claiming victory in tonight's debate. The Allred campaign writing Allred wins debate with big moments. The Cruz campaign writing he hands down wins debate. The two went head to head on everything from abortion access to January 6th. Here are just a few of the highlights from tonight's debate.
A cordial, almost friendly start to the highly anticipated Texas debate, but jabs from both sides came quickly.
We're doing an awful lot right in the state of Texas. Colin Allred wants to change that. I want to keep Texas, Texas.
The first topic of the night was abortion access.
He has voted in favor of striking down Texas's law that gives parents the right to be notified and consent. He's voted in favor of striking down Texas's law and legalizing abortion up to and including the 8th and 9th month of pregnancy. That's extreme.
Allred denied those claims, hitting back at Cruz's position.
I support the protections and the restrictions under Roe. But Senator Cruz just called himself pro-life. You're not. You're not pro-life. It's not pro-life to deny women care so long that they can't have children anymore.
Cruz avoided moderator questions about whether he supports exceptions for abortion in cases of rape or incest.
I want to ask you again, why is this an issue you want to address about saying whether you support or oppose exceptions like rape or incest?
Jason, I'm curious. Why do you keep asking me that? But yet, hold on a second. I've asked Congressman Allred twice about his voting record.
On the topic of border security, Cruz touted his record.
I worked hand in hand with President Trump to secure the border, and we achieved incredible success. We produced the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years.
While Allred poked holes in that argument.
He comes down, he puts on his outdoor clothes, he tries to look tough. And he goes back to Washington and does nothing to help.
There was a tense moment of bickering after Allred questioned Cruz's policy during his time to answer.
Oh, no, you can't have my time.
But what I'm saying,
you can jump in after me. Yeah, that's fine.
Let him finish his
More than
time.
happy to answer
This is not the United States. I'm not yielding my time. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't ask me questions.
No, I'm going to ask you a question. You can answer when you have time.
Gentlemen.
A big moment in the night, Cruz seeming to depart from former President Trump in his stance on pardoning people convicted for their part in the January 6th insurrection.
I think anyone who commits an act of violence should be prosecuted and should go to jail. If you assault a police officer, you should go to jail for a very long time.
But he qualified his response a few moments later.
If you are being persecuted for peaceful speech, absolutely you should be pardoned. If you engaged in violence, absolutely not. You should not be pardoned.
A sharp response from Allred, who was also at the Capitol that day.
I have to say, you can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't. And it's not funny. Because you're a threat to democracy.
The night ended with a handshake similar to how it started, leaving strong stances and statements for voters to consider with Election Day just weeks away. In Dallas, I'm Morgan Young.
And now we want to hear from you. Who do you think won tonight's debate? Make your choice at WFAA.com/vote now.
Yeah, while you weigh in, let's bring in senior political reporter Jason Whiteley and Gromer Jeffers, the political reporter at the Dallas Morning News.
So, Jason, before the debate, you told us there would be a brawl here tonight. But was there something you saw that you didn't expect?
Yeah, this race is a close race. And I think Gromer and I both expected that. Allred's led in money. Cruz is led in the polls. So it is a tight race. What I did not expect tonight, listen, going into this, everyone knows Ted Cruz is an excellent debater. He's a skilled debater. He's, been in Ivy League schools. I did not expect the Colin Allred we saw tonight. Allred came out
time has flown here in the studio tonight.
much stronger. I don't want to say better prepared, but he came out and delivered several great lines you just saw there in Morgan's story tonight. Sitting in this room right here, right where we were, I felt it felt like a street brawl to me. I mean, these guys were respectful, but spirited and animated.
Yeah, it was a street brawl. And remember, I told you about Cruz. He can be a vicious alley fighter on the debate stage. He's tough. But Allred came out and sort of stood up to the big bad guy, who's known for his debating skills, and it was interesting to watch. I mean, he landed a few blows, but you know, Cruz did well as well. He's a good counterpuncher. If you're a conservative, if you like Ted Cruz, you're probably feeling good about tonight. Yeah. But the same with Allred. I mean, if you like him, you're feeling really good. You're like, wow, he performed really well.
You know, in terms of the voters that they were trying to reach, was Representative Allred looking to sway some voters on the fence, and was Senator Cruz more or less trying to turn out the base?
Yeah, that's a great question. Allred needs to persuade independents, soft Republicans, in order to win, because there are more Republicans in the electorate than Democrats. And so his debate performance could give him inroads to those independents and voters he needs to change minds. You know, voters who could be on the fence about Cruz.
Allred also had to introduce himself tonight. This is the largest audience that they were going to have at any point in this campaign. This was on 25 stations across the state, every corner of the state, even in Shreveport, Louisiana, not to mention C-SPAN. Massive audience watching this tonight. Allred knew he had to deliver, but Cruz came in here doing what Cruz normally does. He is an excellent debater, but Allred did not back down. That's what I didn't expect tonight. Both campaigns left this building tonight telling us that they thought it was a fair debate and they thought their guy won. That's what you expect to hear. At the end of the day, though, I think this was a tie.
So you talk about trying to sway the undecided voters. I saw both of you on your phones right after the debate. What was the reaction that you were hearing?
I'll tell you what one Republican texted me, and this is a longtime Republican, and he said that the Republicans in his circle are saying they're a little upset with Ted Cruz because they think that he underestimated Colin Allred.
Yeah, and I heard from a lot of folks who want a rematch. Now, that's not going to happen, obviously, but that's just how powerful tonight was.
The debate invitation's always open, though.
We'll run it back, right?
Well, I tell you, with how the substantive nature of the debate that we heard here tonight, I'm sure a lot of voters would really appreciate hearing more along those lines. So thank you both, because you both did an excellent job. You know, reaction has just been pouring in from across the country tonight and right here in Texas as well.
So here's some of what we are seeing on X right now. Senator John Cornyn posted his support for Ted Cruz, saying Cruz dominated tonight's debate. Cornyn wrote he cannot wait to continue working with him in the future, while former U.S. Representative Liz Cheney echoed her support of Allred, quoting a video of the debate with the hashtag #SupplyClosetTed in a reference to Senator Cruz's actions on January 6th.
Democratic Congressman Mark Vesey praised Allred's performance, posting, quote, "Texans want results, not games," while Tarrant County Judge Tim O'Hare said Ted Cruz is a leader, and Texas needs a leader representing us in the United States Senate.
Now let's bring in Jobin Puniker, who just heard from Texas voters firsthand.
Yeah, what are their thoughts after hearing from Congressman Allred and Senator Cruz?
You know, the reality is the people who are coming to these watch parties aren't exactly your undecided voter. And tonight they were very, very decided. And tonight they were also very decided on who won tonight's debate.
Colin Allred and Ted Cruz in the Texas debate.
It's the kind of turnout you'd expect for the one and only debate between them. Watch parties at both camps were a huge draw. And where there are people, there was emotion. Lots of it. But the day started with a small group of Allred supporters outside our WFAA studios where the debate was held. They were eager for a good debate.
A substantive discussion of the issues and not trading sound bites.
There was plenty of both. Congressman Colin Allred supporters met at the Angelica Film Center. Supporters for U.S. Senator Ted Cruz were at the Rustic.
I think he's doing well. I think that he's talking about his record. I think he's talking about Aldridge's record. I think he's talking about what's important for Texans.
All the things Cruz says he wants to do, he's had 12 years to do.
All the big topics you expected them to talk about, they did, and got the biggest jeers and cheers. Abortion, the border, inflation.
Well, of course, Ted Cruz is mopping the floor with him.
There was two things that were present on stage, the truth and lies. Congressman Colin Allred did a masterful job at displaying the truth.
The debate had its own share of moments, whether it's Allred calling Cruz all hat and no cattle, or Cruz calling Allred another Kamala Harris. Two camps on two separate sides of the ticket. They did share one thing Tuesday, a fixation for the one and only debate between them. In North Texas, I'm Jobin Plenniker.
Earlier, we asked you to weigh in on our megaphone and let us know who you think won the debate.
Yeah, so far about 4,000 of you have already voted, and right now about 35% of you think Ted Cruz won the debate, while about 2/3 of you say it was Colin Allred.
And we encourage you to keep voting at WFAA.com/vote now.
Yeah, you can cast a ballot as soon as Monday morning when early voting begins, and to help you make the most informed decision, we'll be streaming the entire debate again right after this newscast. You'll get another chance to hear the candidates with the ability to hit pause and replay their answers at your own pace. The entire hour of coverage will be available on our free streaming app, and WFAA Plus is available to download now on Apple, Roku, and Fire TV.